You worked full-time and you went to school part-time?
Yes.
Or
yes.
you worked part-time and went to school
I went to
full-time?
school part-time, and I worked as a grave digger part-time and also as a security guard part-time. So I combined the three.
And you went to 4 different law schools?
5 different law schools.
5 different law schools? How
Yes.
come?
Well, I was motivated by the Irish community. They told me, boy, you have nothing else to do. The guy who was the grave owner, the grave digger, the guy who owned the company was actually a lawyer who didn't have a job. So he said, you know what, I have the brains, but I have this company. I want you also to look at the essence of freedom, but you cannot be a freedom fighter without education. And the best thing you can do is you go to law school and study law, and I'll help you. You are a grave digger that got law school, or if you want a good job, I'll give you, but you don't go to law school. So which one do you want? So I chose to go to law school, and I went to University of Wolverhampton, where I did my Bachelor of Laws. Then I went to University of London, School of Oriental and African Studies, where I did my first master's and certificate in comparative laws.
And certification in comparative laws?
Yes. Then,
okay.
then I went to University of Warwick, where I did Masters of Law in Development. Then I went to Westminster University, where I took legal practice course. Then I went back again to University of London, where I took, first before I went there, I went to World University Service, where I took a course in economics and refugee law. Then I went to University of London, Birkbeck College, and started my doctorate, which I was working on, still working on it. And then after that, I started practicing immigration law. Then from there, later on, I crossed and came to the United States and went to Baltimore Law School, where I did a Master's of Law in the laws of the United States, and then started researching and teaching. And,
but all along,
yes,
since 20 or 30 years ago, you've had this burning desire to run for president.
yes.
To run for office, public office, or to be president?
Not only, it's not that I wanted to be the president. It's not that I wanted to run for public office, but the mess in my country compelled me to. The mess, the corruption and the mess in my country compelled me, and the crying and the voices of the people in my country compelled me. And since there was nobody else to stand out there, I said, well, I've had an education through difficult circumstances. I've taught law. I have practiced law in England. What else can I do? Do I become a spectator and stand outside and start looking at people when they are suffering, when they are being tortured, when they are actually being, when their economic rights and human rights and basic needs are being violated by a few crooks in the government? Am I just going to look at them and say, hey, how are you doing? Goodbye. No, I got a duty to my country. The umbilical cord and the placenta that came from me is buried in Kenya. I have a duty. So are other Kenyans outside the country. They got a duty. And if somebody cannot do that, then we risk. And that's why I risked, knowing very well what I was going into to be very, very dangerous. But I've undertaken that task, and I'm working on it.
So, you are a registered voter in Kenya.
Yes.
But in order for you to run for president, you have to have a political party that's also registered.
Yes.
And right now the government is resisting registering your political party.
They have refused completely, and they're not giving reasons.
And what's the name of the political party?
Shake the Tree Movement.
Shake the Tree Movement.
Yes.
And you've had discussions with a wide variety of world leaders.
Yes.
And some of them are urging you to run.
They're supporting my...
Some African leaders have actually endorsed you. We can't name who they are for fear of hostilities towards them.
Yes.
And what's the role of the Prime Minister of India?
Well, the Prime Minister of India is just the Prime Minister of India.
Okay, fine.
Yes. And I can't go beyond that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Have you met with him?
I have not met with him, but I will be meeting him next week.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Good. Now you've met with a wide variety of different leaders in America. In fact, you've indicated you've met with several other mayors. And
also gubernatorial candidates and Secretary of State, like I've met Jesse White here.
Jesse White, phenomenal guy.
Yes, yep. I've met and discussed and addressed a meeting recently with the Congressman Danny Davis. Danny's
a great guy too. Yes. Very hard worker, very conscientious gentleman.
I've addressed different Democratic Party meetings at state levels. I've also addressed the Tea Party. I borrowed something from them. People hated them, but there's something that I like from them that I'm taking with me.
Now, a lot of people might be saying, Why is George Wajackoyah in the United States? And the answer is because the new constitution in Kenya
allows dual nationality, and there are 3 million Kenyans outside the country who are eligible to vote next year.
So there's 1.8 million Kenyans in the United States and Canada.
Yes.
And they're allowed to vote.
Yes.
In the Kenyan presidential elections.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you're hoping that a large number of them show up at the polls.
Yes.
And I'm more practical, and I'm suggesting you're probably not going to get more than 150,000 to vote.
I think I'll get more than 2 million votes, because the diasporans...
From America?
Yes, the diasporans are the ones encouraging me, and they're saying, well, you've started it, you're following. So right now, Shake the Tree movement has opened branches everywhere in the world.
Just remember, you have to get them to the polls.
I'll get them there.
Okay. By more than just inspiration.
Well, that's why I've got